Took wife's phone to check the time and was welcomed with a Johnson pic from her ex. Now she went nuts because of the outcome of my further investigation. Okay, ready to drop this roller coaster of a story and get some opinions. So, I have caught my wife 2 times before sexting with exes, either wild cuckolding fantasies or Johnson pics, and lying about meeting up with an ex. She is still in contact with all on social media, I found out. I felt some distance between us the last few weeks and tried to talk about it. Was brushed away as nonsense. I see she's still following Johnson pic ex on Instagram and has a bad feeling. Though I feel terrible about it, I checked her WhatsApp on her laptop and found out she has been sexting for at least a month with the husband of her best friend, who is 6 months pregnant with their second child. They were talking about having sex in the shower on our upcoming holiday and made plans last month to duck in a parking lot. I confront her about it, deny it, and say I'm seeing things, I'm overly jealous. I say I have screenshots from the last couple of weeks of their chats, and finally she confesses to have sent a couple of naughty texts. I have her call her best friend to confess everything, and she's in shock. She admits to having an addiction to get other males' attention stemming from low self-esteem. We have been together for 13 years, married for 7, 2 kids. I have given her everything, have given up most of my social life as she runs a dance school and is a part-time gymnastic trainer, next to her regular teaching job. She swears it's only texting and everything is a lie she told him. It's part of a game to edge each other on. She admits to sending pics, but only fully clothed. C normally sees him multiple times a week. She is also in contact with sext affair number 1 and talking about it with current sext affair to judge him worthy of her attention. She is unwilling to cut him out of her life, because she's not giving up her friendship or her gymnastics job, of which this guy is also head of. For the sake of the kids I give marriage counseling a go, but for the last 3 weeks she flips between sort of remorse and blaming me and telling me she's not a lapdog begging for forgiveness. And how I can never be thrusted, because I checked her laptop. Her best friend, who of course also got cheated on, has forgiven her in 2 weeks' time, and they are besties again. I've informed her family, and while her parents are angry at her, to also tell me to stop being childish and get over it for the sake of the kids. Tonight I sat down with her, and I want a divorce. I have had enough and I'm done. We have reached the end of the story. Let's listen to some of the comments by our Reddit listeners. Comment 1. You made the right call for sure. I cannot believe everyone else in this story. Comment 2. I don't see remorse here. If there's no remorse, then you're wasting time trying to reconcile. SHE should be the driving force behind the reconciliation. Crazy wife said if you do it early in the marriage it doesn't count, but little did she know this wouldn't stop me from taking action. So I'm really lost and confused, I have no clue where to start or what to say, so I'm just going to start typing. This New Year's was one hell of a kick in the nuts. My wife, 28F, and I, 29M, we've been married for 3 years and Toger for 4. We were talking just a little before midnight. Somehow we started talking about people who cheat early on in a relationship. Like when they're just dating and their partner doesn't find out for years or if ever. I was adamant that it still counts even if those 2 people have only been dating for a little while. I also talked about how the cheater is trash, especially if they marry the person they cheated on and never tell them about it. I made the statement that if I ever found out someone did that to me I'd leave. I honestly felt that way when I said it. My wife kept saying if it was early in the relationship it doesn't count. And how that shouldn't be used against the cheating partner. Especially if it was years ago and they already have kids and plans for the future. Just how she was saying things keyed me into something not being right. I almost didn't want to confront her, but I did. So I asked if she had ever cheated on me. She paused for a second and then said no, she's refusing to meet my eyes, and got very quiet. I asked her to look me in the eyes and asked her again, have you ever cheated on me or did you sleep with someone early on in our relationship? She nods yes. I demand that she says it out loud. So she told me yes, I slept with guy when we got together. My whole world shattered, I couldn't breathe, my vision got blurry, it was like I couldn't see, hear, or feel. And it was like the last 4 years ran in my mind super fast, and all of the great times, and just every memory broke. It all felt fake, the last 4 years of my life, some of my happiest memories destroyed. I left and went for a drive, I was just out on the back roads for hours. I eventually went home and we talked. She told me everything, cried and begged and said she loves me, it all feels fake. Just everything, my life, it's a fucking joke. I don't even know if my 2 girls are mine. I never thought she would do that to me. She claims it was 3 times in the first month we had officially got together. I'm trying to get over it, just every day I feel a little more resentful. Our whole situation is a little complicated, but I'm biding my time. Have a few things to take care of over the next few months. But I've decided to divorce her. I can't get over it, I can't forgive her. If I would have found out in the beginning, I would have left then. It's going to be hard and may take a few months to do everything right, but I'm done. She's a stay-at-home mom, we have 2 girls together, and my stepdaughter. So gonna have to figure out where she's going to live, maybe get her some assistance or something. I'll get paternity tests on my girls, if they're mine I'll pay child support and try and get 50-50 custody. I wish I could say I hate her. But I don't. I love this woman with all of my heart. But I don't trust her, and I never will again. Sorry for the long post. I just needed to get it out. I've not told anyone about this. We have reached the end of the story. Let's listen to some of the comments by our Reddit listeners. Comment 1. I found out my now husband cheated very early in our relationship. We've been together for 15 years and married for almost 8 years. WS said things like, "Oh, it was a long time ago, it doesn't count if it was in the beginning." Those 2 phrases don't make it easier to swallow, and it sounds unempathetic. Your spouse should be sympathetic to your position in it all if they want a future with you, if they are lucky enough to keep you. OP reply. She's very understanding, and has made clear she justified it to herself because she didn't think we would last. She claims it was only in the beginning. Just it's hard to believe her, trust is gone, and that's one thing I honestly feel I can't ever give her again. I love her so much, it hurts even thinking about leaving her. Then I get angry knowing I wouldn't have stayed had I known. I know she does regret it, and she said she hopes I stay with her, but understands if I don't. She's being patient and hasn't tried to convince me either way. Just says she understands and how sorry she is. I breaks my heart that she's hurting, and I find misleft comforting her because I upset her. I hate seeing her tears and hearing her voice small and broken begging me not to leave her, that she loves me, and how sorry she is for hurting me. How she's never done it again, and would never even think about it. And I want to believe her, I do. I just can't, that trust is broken. Comment 2. Think long game. Your wife has been true to you for years, and you have kids. Early on she wondered if the relationship would last, and there may well have been something you said or did to make her feel that way. As males we sometimes act like cavemen and see women as our possessions, so factor that into your thinking. Counseling for you and for both of you is indicated here. OP reply. So would it be okay for me to go sleep with someone else? You know, since she did, I'm confused and lost at the moment. She betrayed my trust, and I'm not sure if I want to work it out or divorce. Does that justify me cheating? No, I would be looked at as trash. She should have told me she didn't feel ready for a serious relationship. Comment 3. Dude, you are out of your mind. You're throwing everything away because she slept with someone else when it wasn't even clear what your relationship would be. Okay, even if you guys stated you were exclusive. It was the first month. You have kids. Your kids are going to absolutely hate you when you get older. It's sad that all the jaded people on this sub are going to support this decision. It's horrible. I'm sorry. This is a huge mistake. Jobless GF is going crazy because highly payable work I found for her doesn't line up with her standards. My girlfriend, 27, has been unemployed for 3 years. She used to work at a restaurant near to where we live. The restaurant was about 6 to 7 minutes walk away, so she liked this job since it didn't require any commute. Ever since she lost her job, I have been asking her to apply for new ones and try getting one. For about 2 years I didn't bring it up because of COVID. About 2 months ago I asked her to again look for a job, because it was really putting a lot of stress on me as the sole breadwinner. I was saving less than $150 a month for our future. She did start looking, and after 2 weeks I also started helping her with it. I found out that a position of a receptionist was opening up in my company, warehouse department, so I asked her to apply. Since the position just opened up, there weren't any applicants, and I talked to the HR manager, who is a good friend of mine, to give my GF the job. Since there weren't other applicants at the time, this did not breach my company policy. I still made sure with my boss regarding this, and she was fine with it. GF went into the job, and she hates it because it is in the warehouse, and she doesn't have a fancy office. I told her to stick around and work a year, and she might get promoted, and that the pay is better than her previous job. Before she used to make $30K a year, and now, it is $42K, which is a pretty solid jump in my opinion. A week later she told me that she wants to quit because this isn't her thing, and my suggestion to her was that she can continue to look for the job she likes, and as soon as she finds one, she can quit here. She was clearly upset by having to do this job, so I sat her down on Sunday, and she was upset that I didn't get her an office job like mine. 1. There is no vacancy right now. 2. She isn't qualified or has prior experience with what we do in the office, so it was unlikely she would have gotten it, but I told her that when a vacancy opens up, I'll see what I can do. She mumbles all the time that I want her to do a labor-intensive job, and likes to see her suffer. She mumbles pretty loudly to make sure I hear it. She is responsible for making sure everything delivered to us is correct and counting boxes and supervising staff, putting them into their designated places. After this, she needs to go to accounts and submit a report. Her job does require a lot of walking and standing. After getting tired of hearing this for 2 to 3 weeks, I asked her if she wants to quit, and I'll just pay for everything, and then she can look for the job she wants to do. Honestly, this seemed like the only way to make her stop always being mad and saying stuff under her breath. I'm getting the feeling she doesn't want to go back to work, but I could be wrong. I have tried communicating to her that if I earn alone, we won't save anything for the future, and if we have children, we won't have anything saved up for their college and higher education. Nothing I say seems to faze her. What should I do? I sometimes don't even want to be with her, but we have made it work for 7 years and most of it has been pretty good. Any advice? Update. I broke up with her last week. At the start of the year she just went in and told the HR manager that she won't be coming in anymore. She didn't even think once about running this through me and gave me a heads up, so I had some explaining to do, but my boss understood the situation and told me to relax because I tried to do a good thing for someone. Not appreciating it is not on me. After this, when I was breaking up with her, she told me if I didn't she'll get back to work ASAP, and her parents also reassured me that they will also try to get her to go to work and stick to it. Last week she brought up becoming a SOM and us having 2 to 3 children in the next 4 to 5 years, and that was pretty much the last straw. We were back at square one. This time I broke up with her, and she moved today. I also told her parents I won't be able to help them anymore, and they can return me the money they owe me when they get back off the ground. Right now I feel like crap, but also a little relieved. Start of 2022 I also started going to therapy because I need it. NGL, I was a little offended when someone recommended therapy for me, but it is the way to go. Gonna stay single for a couple years, and with the money I'll be saving now, I'll do things that I always wanted but couldn't. I always wanted to get a PPL, so I'm looking into getting into a flight school with flexible timings and within my budget. I did some quick math, and now I would be saving a very good amount of money with her and her family gone. Someone in the last post said that she won't do what I'm doing for her, which I think might be true. But this seems like a good benchmark for me to use in my future relationships. I appreciate everyone that messaged me and replied to the last post. I think I needed perspective and hearing the cold hard truth from strangers. Thank you guys. Have a great day. I wish you all the best. Cheers. We have reached the end of the story. Let's listen to some of the comments by our Reddit listeners. Comment 1. You're done ducked up here, OP. What, the 3 years of being unemployed didn't tip you off, except you have a permanent dependent. OP reply. This was in a frustrated tone. I obviously don't want her to quit. Out of the 3, let's let 2 years slide because of COVID. Jobs were pretty hard to find and people were losing jobs left and right. Trust me, I know. I had to break the news to half of my subordinates that they were being let go. If I had the means to support her while also saving for the future, I would, but I can't. I have more dependents on me, and I don't think I can do this for much longer. Comment 2. If she hasn't done anything in 2 years to improve her skills to qualify for a better job, then that is 100% on her. I agree that a $12,000 jump in salary for her, with no effort on her part, is a great increase. She obviously has no desire to work, or she would have taken this on herself. You put yourself out there and helped her get a job. It's time to stop covering her expenses. OP reply. She not working on her skill and education in the 2 years pisses me off more than the unemployment itself, tbh. She could have learned something that would most definitely come in handy. I told her to enroll herself in a diploma, or complete her previous education, and I would help her financially by picking up hours, but she didn't. Wasted 2 years watching YouTube and Netflix. SMH man.